took out Sam. Like,
Those things are dangerous.
no, they come flying. It's like dropping a penny on the Empire State Building.
Come on, buddy. Let's go find your mom. Come on.
Sam, I saw that rooster last night.
Come on.
On that property. Right here. Way back on it.
Come on.
Baby.
You know they grandmother come up here?
Yeah, he has a young guy who's checking him out this morning. I told her to get video of it.
Come on, playa.
Wait for camera.
We're live? Ready? We're live. You're live. Come on. Let's go see your mom. So as you can see, he's getting stronger. He's getting stronger, and he already looks like he's gaining weight. We're going to weigh him today. Oh, look, Mom, see? I told you, Mom will not let him get away with anything. And that's the voice that she will only use for him. She doesn't boss anybody else around with that voice. That's the mom voice. And that is the difference. And you can see he's very confident. He's very happy. He looks so much better than Falco, who's like was born in September. All of that is based on the fact that he is living with his mother. Because when you get to live with your mom, you're healthy and happy and secure. He's not scared of anybody. He's very, very confident. Let me go see. Can we see him? Or are you going to murder me? Let's go see him. Let's see him play. Come on, I want to see you walk. Come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Can you call him over here? Yeah, now watch what he does, because he's probably going to get, he's starting to headbutt things, like the wall, which is going to be great. And when Falco gets a little older, hopefully, this will be his little buddy, because they're going to be close to the same size, I have a feeling. He's shorter, but I have a feeling he's a little bit heavier, just because he's more muscle. Because you are a good-looking cat. Look at your leg muscles already. You were born with muscles. Come on. I love watching Mom boss him around. Watch him. Get away from there. Don't need water. Bellamy's going to come up too. Bellamy's very interested in the baby. She was much more interested yesterday, but she's still coming up to see him. And the baby's exploring everything like this water unit. Oh. What do you think, Nancy? What do you think? He's a great baby. Hi. It looks like you haven't been drinking, young man. Come on. Mom will think there's a full earth. Come on. Let's get you out of here so you don't hurt your legs. This is for big cows. For very big cows. Very big cows. Not little cows. Go see Mama. Go see Mama. What do you think, tough guy? Yay. So we're going to let you watch him for a little bit. Enjoy his cuteness.
So Ingrid's wondering if we've announced his name yet?
Ingrid, we have it. We're really thinking about it. We have a couple names that we're trying to figure out which one would be best. And again, like his personality already has changed. It's only been 24 hours. So we want one more day at least, but we are going to announce it very, very soon. The second that the name is chosen, we will announce it. So if you have a lot of name suggestions, you just start putting them on there. Woo!
People have noticed that his legs are starting to look better.
They're looking much better. A lot of animals are born with like really weak fetlocks and different things going on, just because they're new, not because there's anything really wrong. And I think that's the case with him, because look, he's already like standing up taller. He's very interested in birds that are over there now. Like he's so much more alert and aware already, but his legs look 100% better. We always worry, but again, he's with his mom, so everything that he's gotten, all the antibodies and everything, he already got from his mom. He's like, I don't need your stinking stuff. Look at me, I'm tough. Like, he's just beautiful and perfect. And you can see the difference just in, like, you know, Falco, who was almost dead when he came, but like the difference in their coat and everything is like night and day because she grooms him constantly. It's really great to have your mom. So she's constantly licking him and grooming him. He doesn't get anything on him. Notice that he is one of the cleanest animals you'll ever see.
Donna is wondering if the other cows came up to visit him through the fence.
A few of the babies I heard did come up. I didn't see them, but they definitely were checking him out. So probably Gary, Jerome, and Cashew. Babies love other babies. All babies love babies, especially calves. So once he gets out there, and once Falco gets out there as well, they are going to have some really, really good friends. So we're very excited about, you know, when he will eventually get out and about. And she'll be happy because her best friend is Jackie. Jackie's the one she came in with. So I'm sure Jackie has been up here and we just haven't seen it.
So somebody's wondering if Falco will be introduced to Nancy here.
Not right away, because remember that Falco has a lot of diseases that I don't want, or none of us want, to expose the baby to. We really don't want the baby exposed to anything, because even though he has a nice strong immune system from mom, he isn't even a full like 48 hours old yet. So it's not something that we would risk. And he really has just so many issues. I don't want, you know, to put him in a situation too where he's exposed, because again, Falco doesn't have the same antibodies. He actually had to have plasma transfusions to get antibodies, and those plasma transfusions come from an adult cow. So this guy will never need that, clearly. He's like, I have colostrum and a really awesome mom.
So we have a question if we are milking Nancy.
No. We will never have to milk Nancy. We watched the very first day, even yesterday, after he drank, she was like empty. So she's not producing an overabundance of milk. If she was a Holstein, we might have to milk her because they can never drink the amount of milk that the Holsteins produce. We've had Holsteins and Jerseys come in producing about 80 to 100 pounds of milk, and that's way more than a baby will ever eat. But he has had no problem eating until her udders are nice and loose. So she's not going to have any problems and need to be milked.
So Melissa's wondering where his father is.
We never met his father. Most likely he was this was an artificial insemination. Most places do not keep bulls. They rarely keep bulls now. And most cattle are, especially for the dairy industry, are artificially inseminated. Not in, when they're using them in beef production, they usually have a bull. But on dairies, they do not. So artificial insemination is the most common way that dairy cows are impregnated. I can actually get the percentage to you later.
Dean is asking if he will live out the rest of his days here or if we will rehome him someday.
No, he's going to stay here. He and mom will stay here forever. When we made the decision to keep her, it was knowing that she was going to be having a baby. We have had babies in mom's place, and some other places have tried to separate them, and we've taken them back because we won't ever separate them. That's the promise we made to her when she came in, that she would never ever have to lose her baby. So they'll spend the rest of their life together.
So as a follow-up to the question about why we can't use some of the milk that Nancy's producing for Falco, is she producing more milk than this baby can drink?
No, that's what I was just saying. Like when he drinks, like it looks huge, but she's definitely producing just enough for him. After he drinks, she is very, very empty. She's really tight now because he's going to have to drink soon. But once he drank yesterday, especially, we noticed that, yeah, she was empty. And we could keep, if we start milking her too, she's going to produce a lot more milk, and milking to them is not something that they enjoy, let me tell you, because we've tried and had to milk out cows when they come in, and they kick at us and they hate it. She doesn't kick at her baby. We want to make sure that we're doing everything to make her happy too, so we will not milk her for Falco. If Falco comes in a few months and she like lets him nurse, which I don't think she will because I think he's going to be too tall, I think that would be fine, but we won't milk her out because sadly it's not a nice process for her. It's very uncomfortable.
Carolyn's asking if we will breed her back or if she'll stay open.
She will stay open. No, we don't breed here. This is a sanctuary. So she came in pregnant, and because she came in pregnant, we allowed her to have the baby. We will never ever breed. We got, since January of 2017, we have had requests for homes for over 800 cows now. That is outrageous. And of the 800, a lot of them are cows and a whole bunch of them are calves. So that's just requests since January of 2017. That's not counting the hundreds of pigs, thousands of chickens. There's never, ever, ever enough homes, so we do not breed. She came in very pregnant. She got to keep her baby, but we would never, ever, and we won't ever allow breeding on the sanctuary grounds.
Based on some of the comments, Esther's just wondering if Falco is drinking.
Falco is drinking milk? Yes, Falco started drinking milk thanks to our senior manager that's over here in the hood, who's hiding behind the scenes. This morning he didn't want to eat again, and so Tara came in and magically he did. It's not magic, it's science. No, magically he did eat. She has the touch. Like certain people can get a calf to eat no matter what, because he skipped his meal. I got called at like 1 a.m. That was fun. Nope, he didn't eat then. And then this morning he didn't eat. And then Tara came in and poof, he ate. So he's back to, he's eating out all the time now. And mooing, because he's hungry all the time.
Nancy would like to know, Nancy.
What,
Nancy
Nancy?
would like to know when Nancy's baby started standing up.
Oh, it's all on video. You can watch. Yesterday, we stayed the course for 2 full hours, and then all of a sudden, he finally stood up. He flipped like 4 times in the process. She licked him so hard he kept falling over. But in reality, it took about 2 hours, which is it's not necessarily unusual. We have had most of the calves born here get up pretty quickly, but he took his time. So he's a slow starter, I think, but I think that means he's just going to be the strongest and most amazing animal on the property someday.
Rowan would like to know if Nancy will be spayed afterwards.
No, we do not spay our cows, and there's a couple reasons. They need to be standing when they're spayed. It's not the same as a surgery where you would do with a smaller animal. It's very invasive. We don't see reproductive cancers in these animals, and that's why we haven't done that. So like with the pigs, we usually see reproductive cancers anytime between 5 and 6 years old, so we always spay them. They also go into heat every 30 days and mount each other and like chase us around and act like lunatics. So that's another reason. But we also, with the pigs, do a laparoscopic ovarectomy, so that is also not invasive. It's not an invasive surgery. We do not spay the other ruminants either. You can't flip a ruminant on their back for a surgery because of the rumen, so they have to do them standing. So you don't want this cow to have to go in. It's a big risk for infection. It's not going to hurt her not to be spayed because all the boys are neutered. So Junior, whatever his name's going to be, is going to be neutered, but she does not have to be spayed.
Becky's wondering how long babies will nurse from their mothers if they're able to.
If they're able to, and we have proof because it's happening right now. Liz, for example, still allows Cashew to nurse. He's over a year old. 14, 16 months isn't unusual. And they're not doing it like constantly like they're doing when they're little babies. When they're little babies, that's their whole form up. That's like where they're getting all their nutrients. They're not getting all their nutrients from milk. When they get older, a lot of it is just psychological. So like when something happens and they're scared, they might go under and try to nurse. Sometimes they just nurse. It seems almost like a comforting thing to do as they get older. And the mom continues to produce milk, but not a lot of milk, so it's just a little bit of milk. Sometimes they're not producing milk at all, and the baby does it. But we very, very rarely is it over like a year to 14 months, so they usually start weaning off by then. Cashew and Liz are one example. Pecan and Cheryl, he also nursed for about a year, and he's not nursing now. And they're in the main herd together. Yeah, so they'll stay together forever, but really any kind of nursing that's happening when they get that old is just psychological attachment.
Rachel's asking how the baby's name will be chosen.
The baby's name will be chosen based on lots of things. I think a lot of what we base it on, it's sometimes people we know that like kind of fit who the baby is. Sometimes it's people that do a lot for us. Sometimes it's just personality. Like some animals just have such a, definite personality that the name, sticks right out. And yeah, there's so many reasons, and so a lot of people are giving us really great ideas for names, so we're very excited that we're going to get to name him. And whatever the name will be, it will be very fitting.
Janine's asking if he's able to walk yet.
Yeah, oh yeah, he walks all the time. He was just playing. And no, we're not going to name him Cowboy Butterfly Head. Even though that would work. No, he's pretty amazing, and it's because again, he is still a baby, so we have lots of sleep still. He'll sleep and sleep and sleep, but he will be getting up and running around in crazy spurts.
Nathan's asking for when they're ready, what herd will they be going to live with?
They're going to go back into special needs because Nancy came from special needs with Jackie, and so that's where her best friend lives. And until he's bigger, he's not going to go in the big herd, and neither is she. They need to. She needs to be comfortable. She doesn't. I don't want her to feel like she has to protect him when she goes into the main herd because there's a lot of bigger cattle in there. So right now, the best herd for them to go in is special needs. That's a much more laid-back, docile herd, and there's babies. So the babies will hang out with this baby, cowboy butterfly head.
Brenda's asking if you can recap how his legs are doing.
His legs are doing really well. He's not had any heat or anything. The main thing was they were weak. So when they were weak, he was rolling his fetlocks, so like rolling his hooves under a little bit. And I think that was just because he was born. So I don't think it was anything bad. But we check him constantly. So we've been checking his umbilical cord. We've been dipping his umbilical cord so it doesn't get infected. We've been checking his joints every single minute that we're with him. So he's getting checked all the time. And he's getting a lot of attention. So I'm hoping we won't miss a thing.
Melissa's asking if we go by the baby, does Nancy get nervous or does she trust us to be around him?
She trusts us now, but she does boss him around. She started at the beginning of the live feed. She was telling him what to do because if he starts to get too playful or if he wanders away from her too far, she yells at him, and then she runs up and yells at him too, which is really funny. It's like she's like, but she does not do to anybody else but him. So it's pretty cool to watch.
Maureen is asking what that is around Nancy's neck, if that's an ID tag.
It's a collar. She did come in with a collar. We used to have collars on all of our cows. We're going to take that collar off of her. But when she first came, we wanted to make sure we could tell she and Jackie apart, and they both came in with collars, so we just left them on. She's like scratching her eyeball. So we left them on, but we are going to take it off because we don't really love those collars if they get caught on something. They're not like breakaway collars like a cat. These are loose enough that I think that she could yank it off, but we will be taking that off.
Beth is asking when Mom and Baby will be ready to join the herd.
Baby needs a little bit more time. So I would think that with Baby, we'll probably wait at least like 3 months, depending. And it also depends on weather, because if it's like the deepest of winter, we're not going to just stick them out. He's going to go crazy when he first goes out, especially if he has little friends, and he's going to want to play, and she is going to go crazy because she's going to have been in the pen, although this is a really big area. This is a very significant pen. Every time we say that they're in a pen, this is like, this is as big as it's bigger than a tiny house, that's for sure. So it's a nice big pen. So she has a lot of room, and they do run and play, and she'll be able to run around in here as well. But they'll both be very happy once they're out.
Sherry's asking if these are dairy cows.
Ayrshires can be used as dairy or in beef production. They're used for both. And again, these girls, the 2 adult girls, and then the rest of the cows that we rescued from that rescue were actually being bred as show cattle. So they were being shown, and when you have show cattle, like you sell the offspring, and then they get bred, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. But things went really wrong somehow on that farm. Not that I think that you should ever breed show cattle. I don't. But I think in the case, like normally with cattle that are used for show, they are treated a whole lot better than the conditions that this group came from. They came from really deplorable conditions where calves actually drowned in manure. So they came from a really bad place, and they were really shook up when they came. She's actually calming down, and it's good because now that she's had the baby, I think she's actually getting friendlier with us.
Lisa's asking when the baby will start eating grass or hay.
As soon as Mom is eating hay, like I bet in a couple days he'll pretend to eat hay, but he doesn't have his rumen developed yet. So that takes a few weeks. So he'll start to develop a rumen, and then he'll be able to eat grass and actually process it. When they go outside together for the first time, he will start munching on grass because she will. So everything that she does, he's going to start doing. So you'll see him eating hay, you'll see him eating grass, you'll see him doing all sorts of things that she does. It doesn't mean he's actually getting much out of it. Sometimes they chew on like one little piece of hay for like 3 or 4 hours just because their mom's doing it. So it's really cute. I like that she stays right by him and watches him too. She's kind of like just watches over him in that corner. Oh, can you hear us now? Can you hear me now? Yay! Normally, People go deaf when I'm in the room, but that's good to know. Okay.
Matthew's asking if Nancy only eats hay or grain also.
She does get grain because she's producing milk and because the baby's nursing. So as the baby nurses, she'll actually lose weight. And she can get really, really skinny. So we have to make sure she maintains her weight while she's nursing. And she's producing enough milk for the baby. So she will be eating grain until she's done nursing the baby.
Christina's asking if she's been protective over him.
Oh yeah, she's very protective. She keeps right there, but like when people come up and look at the fence, she kind of goes around him more. So she's not really letting him out of her sight at all. So even when we first came in, like she walked into the other pen because I opened up the pen so she'd have more space. But then she came right back and started yelling at him to come with her. So she's very protective, which is normal. That's what moms do. They're very protective.
Lindsay's asking if they snuggle together when they sleep.
They do. Hopefully we'll get some good sleeping shots, but last night they were all curled up together, which was really sweet. And they'll do that every single night, hopefully forever.
Sally says she's still confused about the baby's legs. If you can explain that.
Oh, no, it's not confused. I'm sorry. The baby is just new. So sometimes when they're born, their fetlocks are a little weak. So like where their foot meets their leg, that's a little weak, that joint. So they roll it sometimes. Or sometimes the joints are just weak because they were just born. Sometimes you do worry about infection, but I don't think that we have anything to worry about. I think it's just that he was just born. And so he had some weakness in the joints. But now he's up and active and happy. He has no heat, no swelling, nothing that like makes us think it's infection. It really just seems like he was just still a newborn. And we were overprotective.
And a few people just, if you can summarize again, if the other cattle have seen him yet.
Some of the younger ones, I guess, have come up. So Gary, Cashew, Jerome, that group have come up to see him. I did not see them do that. So they're coming up whenever they feel like coming up. So my guess is most of them have met the baby already.
Jennifer's asking if the baby will receive vaccinations.
Yes, we do vaccinations. I know a lot of people will get on here and tell us not to vaccinate. There are a lot of diseases that cattle carry that they need to be vaccinated against because it's not just the cattle that we bring in, but there's neighboring cattle. So some of the things that they can get, and one of the worst ones is, and that's very contagious, even from cattle that are miles away from us, is pink eye. So we do vaccinate for that because pink eye can actually cause them to go blind. We are very careful about what we vaccinate with. We don't use live vaccines. We use like a killed vaccine, but the vaccines we use are based on diseases that could be very detrimental to their health. They also are vaccinated for rabies because a cow's not going to run away. A cow is going to go directly to that animal to see what they're doing because they're super curious. So really, that's just, again, for the protection of the animal because we do not want anything to happen to them. So any vaccine that they get, it's definitely for their for the best health they can possibly have.
Lorena's wondering how old Nancy might be.
Nancy, they're guessing, is between 6 and 7. She might be a little bit older. It's just basing it off her teeth.
And is she brown and white or black and white?
She is actually like dark red and white. Really, really pretty. She's a really dark red color.
And we would like to know if people are allowed to come and visit Farm Sanctuary.
Yes, you can. So right now we're still open on weekends for tours. If you're a member, you can do just like a self-guided tour and walk around so you can see the animals out in pasture. So there's lots of ways to come and visit, but go online and you can get all of our hours and, you know, when we can have visitors. And if you're in Southern California, we have different hours. So go online for there because I work with the animals. I'm not the best on the visitor program, but I do know that we still are doing weekends here on the farm. We're open for tours.
So Antonella would like to know what kind of grain Nancy eats.
Nancy is now eating a sweet feed type grain. It's probably like a 14 to 16% protein grain. It's really good and tasty. Makes her very happy when it comes out. She's a little bit addicted to it, but yeah, it's giving her energy and it's allowing her to produce enough milk again for the baby without losing too much weight.
Crystal's asking if we are expecting any more babies here.
Nope, no more babies. Of course, anytime we do a rescue, there is always a chance that somebody's like far along in a pregnancy. You never know. So, you know, if we do a rescue next week, I'm pregnant on their own. So yes, we're pregnancy free. Perfect. Okay, so have fun looking at everybody. We can walk over here so you can see You can see Merlin too. It's really awesome. So this is where they're gonna live. Are you longing to go back? Here's your people. So this is our special needs herd. You can see the trees are really beautiful right now. They're all changing. That is Merlin coming. He's one of our older males. I think he's like 14 now. He's a giant. He's really, really big. Adrian is way over here. So she's going to be living with Adrian as well. Adrian is a dairy girl who actually she came from a dairy farm where her hip was actually broken by a bull. It's one of the few farms I know of that was using a bull and not artificial insemination. So when she was mounted, she actually had a broken hip. And the head of the herd is coming. He's right in the middle. That's Moo. He's awesome, and he'll be a really wonderful father. So I'm very glad that he is the head of the herd. He loves calves, so he's really good with the calves. And he is so big and tall, so he'll have a lot of fun because he actually likes to play with the calves. He'll let them roughhouse with him. And obviously he's not going to get hurt because he's really big. He weighs about 2,400 pounds probably. Merlin probably weighs about 2,500 pounds. So they're very big. In the distance, you may not notice how big they are, but they're very, very big.
Christine would like to know where Cashew is.
Cashew! Cashew's with his mother. And they're actually in the pavilion. I just walked past them coming in. So they're out in our pavilion drinking a lot of water right now. But they're together, and they're in this herd as well. So she'll have another mother double baby combo out there to play with. Oh. And we're doing a lot of construction, making sure the roads are safe for the cows. We don't want them anywhere near anything icy. We want the roads to be like, as mud-free as possible because they can really pull the muscles and hurt their legs when it's super muddy because they're such big animals. So we're doing road work and changing like some of the drainage right now, right before winter hits.
Carol's wondering if Nancy's had any other calves in the past, if she's displaying any worries when we come into her pen.
She was at first. Now she seems to be absolutely fine and very relaxed, but she doesn't leave us alone with the calf. So my guess is, like when I was trying to get him up yesterday to clean his umbilical cord, she was not happy about that. So she definitely came over to make sure I wasn't doing anything. So I think if we tried to take him out of the pen, she would have a very definite reaction. And yes, I'm sure she has been bred many times. She came in, it looked like she had been bred before based on her udders and based on her age. I can't imagine they hadn't bred her before. Right, baby? Somewhere out there you have siblings. You should get a close-up of his cute face. He has, when some of the babies are little, they do this breathing where their nose wrinkles up really far, and it's very, very cute. It's really, really cute, and he does that all the time. He's pretty angelic just all around. Good job. Okay. That would be Bellamy. It's an announcement. Bellamy can see the cows from the special needs herd out her gate, so she's yelling for them. And again, she actually we'll be videoing that too, so you can see it. But Bellamy should be joining the herd pretty soon as well because her skin's finally starting to heal to a point where she could go out with the other cattle. So we're really excited about that. So he'll also have a friend named Bellamy, hopefully. Are you gonna have a friend named Bellamy? Oh, you're tired.
Lisa was asking before how little Natalie is doing.
Little Natalie is awesome, and her boyfriend is a giant. So Natalie and Mason were down here yesterday, and they just are such a funny pair because Mason, like she could probably fit inside of Mason. He's so big and she's so small. So Natalie is full grown and probably weighs, I think she weighs like 500 pounds or 400 and something, 500, and he weighs like 2,500 pounds. So you have like such a massive difference in size, yet they are always together and really, really love each other. So I like how they pick out who they're going to hang out with, like the people they're going to spend the rest of their life with, and she loves Mason. So hopefully when we're doing some of the filming, like once he gets a little bit more energy and we come down, once we have a name and we decide to announce it and we come down, hopefully Mason and Natalie will come as well so you can see them. You're welcome, Mama.
So Kim's wondering when we will announce his name.
I'm hoping by tomorrow. There's a lot of thought going into this name, so I'm guessing that tomorrow we are going to have a name. What do you think? Cute nose, butterfly head. Yeah, with the number of people that have given us names, he could have like 10 names. Very, very easily. You're awesome. What do you think? Oh, that feels good. Yeah, see, she needs a spa day because she just had a baby. Do you need a spa day?
So Lisa's wondering if the baby will wind up being larger than his mom.
Oh yeah, baby will be bigger. Almost always with the boy babies, they're almost always bigger than mom. I can't imagine that the baby will not be bigger than his mother. Someday, very soon.
And Katie would like to know if she'll be able to see them when they come for celebrations of turkeys.
Yes, you will. If you're coming for, we have 2 celebrations for the turkeys, both in Acton and in Watkins Glen this year. So there are definitely openings, at least in one of the ones from Watkins Glen. Yes, and I'm sure in one of the ones from Acton as well. So yeah, if you want to meet him, that would be the time because he'll be growing up by then. He's going to be so much bigger. Yes, he is.
And Dottie's asking if Nancy came in pregnant.
Nancy came in pregnant, yes. Again, we don't breed here. Sometimes when an animal comes in pregnant, we do allow them to have the baby, especially if it's for the health of the mother. It's harder on the mother to actually abort the baby. We will let her have the baby. But in most cases, we actually don't. If they're just pregnant, we would not have let the baby go to term because we just have too many animals that come through. We have too many places that we could be filling with animals that need to be rescued. Right. Lots more like you. Oh, look, Mom's leaving. Note that he's not even worried. He doesn't seem to worry about anything. He's like,
Dottie would like to know how long cows are pregnant for.
9 months. So cows, just like people, carry their babies for 9 full months. And they're a lot like people with their pregnancies. They communicate with the baby when they're in the belly, in your womb. So they always are chatting back and forth with their baby. They know they're pregnant. But yeah, they carry for a full 9 months, just like we do.
And Luann is asking how the baby's doing today.
Baby is perfect and I think spectacularly cute. And seems very curious as to where Mom just went. Where did your mother go? You're an orphan. Let's see if Orphan wants to get up. You're an orphan. What happened? You got left alone. See, if I come over here, Mom will probably come back. She's out looking at all the road construction.
Lindsay's asking if the babies will still want to be around their moms as they get older.
They do. They do, just like human babies, in my opinion. They do get friends that they hang out with just as much or even more. So, Cashew is friends with Jerome, but he still hangs out with his mom. She's staring at me like I'm going to kidnap the baby right now. If you could get a shot of that because it's hysterical. She just realized that she's away from the baby and I'm not. Nancy, what's wrong? She's mad at me. Oh, no. Cutest baby in the world.
Judy is asking if cows ever have twins.
They do have twins, and we talk about that when we talk about animals like Faith. A lot of times when they have a male and a female twin, the female is actually sterile. So if the female is sterile, especially in a dairy situation, they don't want either the male or the female. So usually if twins are born, they're actually both sent out to auction and not put back into the industry. They're auctioned off right away because the chances are the female is going to be sterile. Right. He's getting little buds already. He's getting little nubbies right here. Because he's so cute. Hi. Hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. Oh, I forgot you're a baby. Where's your mom? Where's your mama? See, all these schools.
Lisa would like to know how much cows sleep.
A lot. No, they don't actually sleep as much as you think. They actually sleep more at sanctuary than they do when they're on a farm. I think they only get like 4 or 5 hours of sleep when they're on farms. And it's very like when they can kind of sleep. It's not like a deep sleep. But here they actually fall asleep and they go flat out on their sides. A lot of times we think there's something wrong with them when they do that because it's not something you commonly see. We can have a whole bunch of them just stretched all the way out and sound asleep. Gary's one of the ones that sleeps this the most soundly. You actually have to go out and wake him up, which is not normal for a cow. So if they're insecure or they're like kind of on alert, they tend to sleep less. But a lot of these animals sleep so like in little spurts, and they can do that much better than we can. Their bodies can handle that. So yeah, these two though are going to sleep a lot, like especially the baby because he's a baby.
Nathan is asking if we spray for flies.
Yes, Nathan, we do. We have different ways of doing it. We don't spray for flies. We actually do a pour-on the cows, and we don't have them up in here, but we have these things called cow buddies that the cows can actually walk through, and there's ropes that get saturated with the fly stuff so that they can get it on their face without us having to like spray anything on them because they don't like to be sprayed at all.
And I think Holly is asking about Nancy's hip, if it's supposed to look that way.
She does have one hip that's down lower than the other. That's probably an old injury. She came in like that, and that's a good observation, Nancy. I mean, whoever said that about Nancy? Who said?
And Holly.
Yeah, hi Holly. Yeah, that's very good observation. She most likely broke off the tip of one of her hips. It's her right, her left hip is normal, and her right hip is either lower or maybe the actual tip is gone. But that does happen with these cows with lots of different types of injuries.
Lindsay's asking if Nancy's okay with you cuddling her baby.
Right now she seems to be fine with it because she's exploring because I gave her another pen. And again, she wasn't okay yesterday. Today she's definitely calmed down because I think she knows we're not going to do anything. She seems very comfortable with the fact that the baby, yeah, she's just walking around over there next door. She's shopping. Maybe she thinks she hired me as a babysitter.
So Laura would like to know if these cows will live with us for the rest of their lives, and for how long will they typically live for?
They will live with us for the rest of their lives. Mom is nice and small, so I'm hoping she lives into her 20s. That's the goal. And then baby, I don't know what you're going to look like. I'm going to guess you're going to be just like a regular male Ayrshire. So usually the males are bigger, and they're, one of the biggest issues that you have with cattle, the more likely they're going to get some kind of arthritis. And that's usually the cause, why they end up being euthanized, because you can't manage that pain. But that's like end of life. That's when they're much, much, much older. So hopefully he will also live to be at least would you like to live to be at least 20 to 25? That's the goal for you. Think about it.
And Jordan is asking how long Farm Sanctuary's been here for.
This actual farm, or farm sanctuary? Farm sanctuary in general. 32 years. We're going to be celebrating our 33rd year. In existence. So yes, we have been doing this for over 3 decades. A long time. That's why we're always tired. A long time. Yes. Like a little deer. Just like a little Bambi deer. Yeah, he's going to be great because he likes to be handled, which is making me very happy because a lot of calves and a lot of moms don't want you to touch them. She is watching me like a hawk. Turn around again. she's like, see, Mom always knows what's happening.
Always knows.
Mm. What's she doing? Good an itchiness. You got an itch right there. Very itchy. Yeah, it's gonna be really fun to grow up with him. See, he's pretending he knows how to eat hay. He doesn't. He's good, I promise. Very pretty mom. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna come back tomorrow so you can see everybody that you like now, all your new people. Say hi, Mom. He's watching her as much as she's watching him, which is really sweet. You have a good day, okay? I'll see you in a little bit. She's like, hey, paparazzi.